Clickforms Information UAD training for Clickforms Part 3, picking up at 16:02.
Specified or UNK, or must be a whole number UNK specified. So up here, we've got the days on market. You know what they are, you enter them in. If you don't know the days on market, you check the box DOM unknown. It puts UNK in there. I'll go ahead and put in that I have days on market. I'll say I know them, 120 days. And then you've got a box here, properties for sale by owner. If it is, you would check the box. If it's not, you would uncheck it. I'll go ahead and check it in this example. And then here we have spots for the original list price and list date, the latest list price or list date, or current perhaps, but still currently listed, and then other changes, other price changes, or other prices, and then other list dates, price change or intermediate listings, that would be those. So for original, if we say we have days on market, we need to specify that. We'll say the original list price was $219,000. And then list date, we need to specify that. We can click on the month, the date, or the year, and we highlight it, and we can make a change. Enter that in, or you can use this little calendar control over here. Click on this little icon, brings up the calendar control, and you can sort of arrow forward and back, and then just double-click on the appropriate date that you want. And then latest list price and list date, or current one if it's currently listed. We'll say it's currently listed, and it's a little lower. We'll say $189,000. And then list date, we'll make today. We'll say it's current. And then other list price and list dates, these price changes. We'll say we had one of $199,000 in May 17th. Double click that, select that, and we have to add. And if I had other intermediate listing and price changes, I would just keep putting them in, specifying the price and date, and add them until I get them all in there. And then once everything's filled out, I hit save. It will populate the field with that data that I selected accordingly in the UAD format, which is days on market first, no space, semicolon, subject property was listed for sale by owner, period, semicolon, latest price, semicolon, latest date, and then original price, original date, other price, other date, and then the data sources or data source or sources. You can see most of the elements are separated by no space in the semicolon. We did have a comma in there, so there are some exceptions to that. And the key is if you were typing this, you would have to type everything in its exact order with its exact spacing and punctuation. Get an extra space in there, wrong punctuation would be an invalid field. But you don't need to worry about that. The program, these pop-up windows take care of it for you. You just fill in the information, select the choices, answer the questions, save, and then it gets it in there in the UAD format for you. So that's the general overview of how those pop-up windows work. Let's go to basement area. Let's go to view. I'm sorry. View is a field where it requires new information now. Location will be the same way when we touch on that. Terms like average, good, poor, fair, similar are not acceptable. Have to pigeonhole the view and then later on location into one of these three choices: neutral, beneficial, or adverse. And it's technically the view's influence on value. Does it have a neutral influence, a beneficial influence, or an adverse influence? Have to choose one of those. I'm going to go ahead and choose beneficial for this. And then you've got factors in here like water view, park view, golf course, mountain, industrial, etc., limited site. Have to choose one factor that kind of justifies your choice here. Can choose up to two, but no more than two. There's also an other option. If nothing on this list is appropriate, you can choose other. And then down here in this box, you can describe what other is, whether it's railroad tracks, plaza view, Disney freeway view, etc. But I'll go ahead and I'm going to choose golf course view and mountain view, which are my two personal favorites. And then I hit save, and it loads the information into the form. Capital B for beneficial, semicolon GLFBW, semicolon MTN. And this is where we can go to the page 2 of the definition of terms, look at abbreviations, and say GLFBW, it's golf course view, MTN, that's mountain view. So that's how you can integrate the definitions page and kind of look at it, and that's what the borrower or whoever would want to do if they had questions. They had that resource to go see what the terminology is or the abbreviations are. Basement area, we'll click in there. Your choice, if you don't have a basement, you can just check the box, no basement, save, and it puts 0 and 0 for the square footage and the finish percent. Otherwise, if you had a basement, you would need to specify the total square footage of the basement. We'll say 650 in this case. and then you've got a box for finished percent and finished area. If you put in the finished percent, it will calculate the finished area for you. If you put in the finished area, it will calculate the percent for you. So you have to only do one of these, and it will figure out the other, whichever information you have, whatever your preference is. You can just put in, so I'll just put in, say, 520 finished square feet, and then when I click out of there, it calculates the percentage for me, which is 80. Or I could just put in a number, say 75 in here, or use these up and down arrows to sort of come to a percentage that I want. We'll go down to 50. And then when I leave the field, it calculates the finished square footage, which in this case would be 325 square feet. And over here, I need to specify the access method to the basement. Is it interior only, walk up, or walk out? I'll stick with interior only. And then I also need to specify the room breakdown of the basement. Our choices are rec room or recreation room, bedrooms, full baths, half baths, and other rooms. I'll say one rec room and one bedroom. Save it. Put in the total square footage, the finished percent. Outside entry is not checked, which is appropriate because I said interior access to the basement. Go down on page 2 here in the grid, and it's got total square footage, finished square footage, line 1, room breakdown on line 2. Pretty straightforward. It does the legwork for you. Just know that a couple appraisers during these courses say that they use this room's below grade line for other amenities and stuff because either they have no basements or they just put all this information on the first line. Once UAD hits, you're not going to be able to do that. If I click in this box, it's going to show me the same screen or pop-up window I saw on page 1 where I can set the sizes and the room counts. Nothing on here is going to allow me to put anything but this room breakdown, which is good because if I had anything else in there, it would not be a valid field, and when I want to upload it, it wouldn't let me. So just know if you're using this for something other than room breakdown, even if you're in an area where there's rarely, if ever, basements, you're going to have to discontinue that once you do UAD and use one of these free agent fields or elsewhere for that information you put there. All right, let's go to rooms. We've got total rooms, bedrooms, bathrooms. Whichever the fields of those 3 fields we click in, it's going to bring up the same screen where we can set the total rooms, bedrooms, and the bathrooms here all at once. You've got total rooms, bedrooms, full baths, and half baths are choices. You can use these up and down arrows to sort of make a choice, or you can pop in there and put in 70 rooms. That would be like Bill Gates' house or something. 7 rooms. You can put in the number. Or you can use these arrows to like sort of run up and down your room counts. I'll say there's 7 total rooms, 4 bedrooms, 2 full baths, and 1 half bath. And I hit save, populates the field for me as well as here, page 1 as well as the grid. Pretty straightforward. I just want to point out the bathroom count. That is the requirement for UAD use bathrooms. It's full bathrooms dot half bathrooms. So in this case, we would have 2 full bathrooms and 1 half bathroom. If I had a larger property and say I had 5 full baths and 3 half baths, that would be 5.3. So if you have been using 0.5 for half baths, like 2.5 baths would be 2.5. You want to watch that or discontinue it. If you use the pop-up window, it'll get it right. But if you're cloning or carrying it from the inspection sheet, you want to watch that because 2.5 would not mean 2 1/2 baths. Once UAD hits, that means 2 full bathrooms, 5 half bathrooms. So kind of just be aware of that. Also, there's no room for quarter baths or 3/4 baths. They need to be categorized as either half baths or full baths accordingly. They don't make any room for that. Generally, round up or round down, or generally I think 3/4 baths round up to full, 1/4 baths go to half baths, even though someone said in their area that half baths are no baths. But either way, you have to categorize them in either full baths, half baths, or not at all. There's no stipulation for quarter or 3/4 baths. All right, condition of the property here. We've got a lot going on, but initially we have to choose at the top. Select the overall condition rating for this property. Click on the down arrow. This is where we get our C1 through C6 choices. Now they're paraphrased on this screen. If it was the entire word-for-word definition for each of them, this would take up your whole screen. So we just paraphrase them here. If you want to see the full definition, you can go on the help button. And all the pop-up windows have a help button. They do certain things as far as different things depending on the form. In this case, but most of them all, they should tell you at the beginning what's required for the field, which in this one is the appraiser must select one overall condition rating for the subject property and comparable property from the list below. one of these C1 through C6, it ends with saying multiple choices are not permitted. So you can't.
Okay, I'm ending it at 26 minutes.